Well, yeah, we got it. Yay! I think. No, so unfortunately, we're having major technical difficulties with our live stream version. So we're just gonna soldier on without the live stream right now, which is very disappointing because we were hoping a couple of you guys would stop by and say hello in the middle of this.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be Melissa and me sitting here partying by ourselves for episode 100 of the Captain's Log. It's a big celebration!
Yeah!
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you doing tonight?
I'm okay, Kyle. I've got a big bowl of popcorn. I have a glass of wine. They put on a nice dress. Yeah, let's unwind. Let's have fun and play some games.
Exactly. You put on a nice dress. I put on a nice t-shirt. They both happen to be red, so we're kind of matching, which we did not plan. But here we are. This is what we're doing on this one. How's your week been? Has it just been the same old, or is you do anything new?
Oh, not really. I don't know. I watched Spider-Man again. That's always good.
Again. That is an interesting choice because we watched that one for our 100th
Well, we watched Spider-Man too. And I rewatched Spider-Man OG, the first one, which I saw just like months ago. Just a couple months ago, like on TV at my parents' house while I was doing laundry. Oh, but I watched it again. I'm just going to watch Spider-Man again. All the Spider-Man. Get that good spider energy.
There is actually a comic book called Spider-Man.
Good spider energy?
Yes. And it is when Peter Parker from like the main comics meets Miles Morales from the alternate universe that he's from, and they meet, and he's like, hey, I kind of got inspired by the Peter Parker of my universe to do this, but he's dead. This is weird. So he got to meet a version of Hater and was like, you're actually really cool. I like you.
Was Peter also a teen?
No, this is like Peter Parker the man.
Oh, dear. Which ain't bad. Oh, I just want like a good teen adventure.
Yeah.
Just a teen romp.
Most of Ultimate Spider-Man is teen-focused Spider-Man. It's when he's in high school. And
that
then
sounds good.
When Miles Morales comes along, he's like 12. So he's like barely a teen.
Oh, he's too young.
Yeah.
Let him do that.
Yeah. So let's see. You mentioned you were drinking some wine. What are you sipping on?
White. I don't even know what it is.
It looks like you have some kind of like fruit or something in it.
Oh no! Oh, these are like frozen plastic like gemstones. They're like those plastic reusable ice cubes.
Gotcha. I was like, did you put strawberries in your wine?
That would have been classier, but no.
Petals?
God, I should get rose petals to just put in every liquid. God, I'm going to make chili and put rose petals on top.
Melissa crushes the competition at her next chili cook-off with her rose petal chili. I have...
it's just potpourri with beans.
Potpourri with beans. I bet you somewhere out there that already exists. Just like a dried bean is somehow mixed in there.
Oh my god. You could use them as vase filler, I guess.
Yeah. True. So I was hoping to get a little bit more alcohol than I have right now. I had to scrounge around our refrigerator to see what we had. And we had one Modelo in a can of Modelo Especial, and a black cherry White Claw.
That sounds good.
I'm clawing it up tonight, baby.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
Right? Hell yeah. So I think I'm going to start off with this White Claw. That's how our party will begin. I've had like 3 of these in my entire life.
I don't know if... I've had some hard seltzers. I don't know if I have had White Claw itself, the king of the hard seltzers, it seems to be.
And that one, I don't like the black cherry flavor all that much. I'm typically not a cherry flavor kind of person. But it's not like overwhelming because it's, it's a White Claw. But they had, I don't know, I don't remember which one it was. I think it may have been a citrus one or like a mango or an orange one that was really good. And I was like, I could get down with that.
I think I've heard mangoes are good. That's what my roommate gets sometimes. Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're going to be here celebrating.
Yeah.
So I at least wanted to address some like pop culture news and stuff like we still normally do now and then.
Heck, I didn't even look at our normal ideas sheet. What do we even have on there this week?
All right, so I'll give you a rundown of all of the things that we could potentially talk about and do, which I think we'll hit most of these. We'll hit them all. But we, as mentioned previously, we are going to talk about some of the music of the band The Whatnauts.
Yeah. Yes.
Then we are going to play 2 Truths and a Lie. I have a super secret segment that I planned. Kind of. It's not like super special, but it's just like I didn't want Melissa to prepare for this one, so I'm surprising her with this.
That's frightening.
Melissa, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about like our favorite Captain's Log moments.
I did say that and then forgot, so I need to write some down right now.
That's okay. We have all the time in the world to think about them. But you surprised me just about an hour or so ago. You were like, I have Mad-Libs. Captain's Log Mad-Libs. And I was like, amazing. This is great.
The ultimate party game.
Yeah, and then I wanted to talk a little bit about Mulan and AMC theaters and the buffoonery that has been befalling them. That was the pop culture news that I wanted to kind of start out with. I think it was 2 weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tenet would still hit its release date. And then last week it was like, ooh, looks like it's not. It's getting pushed back 2 weeks. And we were like, that's still a bold move to be out in July. And I had completely forgotten about Mulan.
Me too.
Now, I don't know if this was the original release date or not. Unfortunately, I have no device in front of me that could magically look this up. There's no way to tell this information. But yeah, I completely forgot about this one. And it was like, Mulan is out July 24th. I was just like, really? That seems early.
Yeah.
Where are you into all of the like Disney live action stuff? Have you seen much of them?
I've seen a couple of them. I saw Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. Actually, that might be it. I don't mind them. I think it's an interesting creative exercise. I would like if it was like a little series that they did on like Disney Plus that's just like conceptual explorations, like who would it be, what would it look like the outlines of everything. I love. I think that's really interesting to explore. Like, who would you put in this, and what costume are they wearing, and how are
something
you gonna
like that would actually be really cool. I think so Marvel has a bunch of Marvel TV shows that are eventually coming to Disney Plus. One of them is an animated one that is still set. Well, I mean, it's theoretically set in the Marvel universe, but it's a what if show where every episode or so they take a new premise and is like, what if Agent Carter became Captain America instead?
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool thing to do just for the Disney classics. Like, what if Snow White, but steampunk? and just like mash up genres, mash up styles. Just like, what if The Lion King, but romantic comedy?
Isn't it not? That is it already. It is that.
But yeah, just like or let's see, what's a maybe a random Disney movie.
Atlantis,
but a horror film.
Isn't it already?
God damn it,
Atlantis is intense.
But like truly, like, let's make this a horror film and not like an
Atlantis,
Indiana
but
Jones.
It's The Descent.
Right? Yeah, like just do like an animated or like a 15-minute version of like here is a short film based on like what if Atlantis was actually a like horror film.
I'd like to see more like little stage productions. Like, I know there's been a lot of Disney things that have moved to the stage. Like, they tried to do a stage musical out of Hunchback. There was, I think, a melding of the Disney movie and the original Victor Hugo novel. And I think it didn't do great. Like, it's not totally dead. It still exists as a property. I think theoretically a theater still could put it on, but it's not like Toast of Broadway, national tour, come see the Hunchback musical. I want them to do more like stage adaptations of their shows and just film them like for Disney Plus if you don't think it's going to sustain an entire theatrical run. Like, just give me a night of one shots of like little one act plays set in the Darling household from Peter Pan or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Take it to the stage. Give me what is your casting? What are your costumes? What is your set design? How are you altering the script?
Dame, but a sports movie.
I listened to a podcast called Hard Reboot that takes a public domain property, and then they'll take a genre and a medium and they'll reboot the thing. So it's like War of the Worlds, but it's an audio drama. A horror audio drama, or Wind in the Willows, but it's a magic realism board game. All kinds of stuff. And they did Hunchback of Notre Dame as a shonen anime.
Yes, that sounds great.
It's a wild episode.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, I haven't been interested in the live action Disney stuff. I think Mulan is maybe the only one that am like vaguely interested in. But that's because it is kind of based off of real people. So it's just like, I mean, it's kind of a historical drama with action. Like, I can get down with that. Yeah,
it's not so much an adaptation of the movie as it is an adaptation of the history the movie was based on, just with a little more of the flavor of the movie that they already did.
It's like one of those things that I always make fun of my mom for, because she loves movies based on true stories. But I always question the validity of like, is this really what happened? Like, it sounds like there's some he say, she say mixed in with this. And so I always make fun of her being like, it's based off of true, it's based off the thoughts of the idea of a real event that someone once heard at
based
lunch
off hearsay
at Chili's. Yeah. Yeah, so like I guess it's based off of someone named Mulan.
Yeah, I haven't done the research into it. I don't know how much is there.
Yeah, or like redo all the time periods and stuff. So, like, what if Mulan, but cyberpunk set in the future?
Have you heard about this Cruella de Vil movie?
No.
It's a take on a Cruella de Vil origin story that is set in like the 1980s punk scene.
Ooh.
Starring Emma Stone, directed by whoever it was that directed I, Tonya.
I don't know anything about that one, so...
Well, I haven't seen it either, but I imagine you, having seen the trailer, I get the vibe of it, and the vibe of that movie applied to this concept intrigues me.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'd be willing to check it out just based off of that. Mm-hmm. Set in the punk scene in the 80s. Back when Paul was still involved with the Whatnauts here, we covered a book on the Whatnauts podcast called Prince of Cats, which was really fascinating because it was Romeo and Juliet. It was the story of Romeo and Juliet from the perspective of Tybalt, I believe is his name, and it was set in 1980s New York, and it was amazing. It was so cool. The plot was a little bit hard to catch on to, but just the like style and finesse that they made it with was just like, this is fascinating. This is really cool. I think they could do something like that. Just mix up all of the like time periods, genres, all of that stuff. It would be neat. But hopefully Mulan does good. I don't think I'll be venturing out into theaters to go see that one, which is unfortunate. But did you hear? Did you see this news about all the AMC theaters?
I haven't seen much of anything, no.
So, a couple days ago, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure, they announced that they would be opening back up to the public on July 15th. I think they had something where they're like, we're taking more cleaning measures, your health and safety is our number one priority. We'll open, I think, at like half capacity. And then they said, but you're not required to wear a mask. And they continued to say something along the lines of, we didn't want to get mixed up in a political controversy, which is why we are saying you don't need a mask. And instantly, everyone online just let them have it. They were like, you guys are idiots. This is about public safety. It's not about politics. And or like I said something online, which I think what I just said right there is a little bit more accurate. But I was like, by taking this stance, you're making it a political statement.
Yeah.
And it's a dumbass one, because now you're gonna get people hurt. And the like Twitter just exploded and let them have it. And then I guess they announced today, they're like, yep, sorry, we're reversing that decision. Masks are required. Don't listen to what we previously said. Well, that stuff, I still think it's too soon, but
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, they're trying. It's crazy to think at the start of this year we took some bets and stuff like that of like what movies are gonna do well in the box offices and stuff like that, and it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
When we look at it at the end of the year,
what we thought was going to be a new tradition every year on this podcast,
right?
Guess how movies are going to do.
All movies are canceled this year.
Some of them still happened, and heck, we're getting Hamilton on Disney Plus in a couple weeks, and that wasn't supposed to come out until next November. So at least we have that.
There is that. Let me see. I think if I'm not mistaken, 2020 box office. Who's leading the box office? So right now, in the domestic box office, the number one movie in America is Bad Boys for Life. Number 2 is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Doolittle, and number 4 is Birds of Prey.
What? Doolittle made more money than Birds of Prey? Really?
Ooh, actually, well, let's see. No,
I went to see both movies.
that's weird. Why is it listing?
But I don't
Doolittle?
imagine that's a decision most people are making.
Oh, okay. It's ranking them by the worldwide box office. All right. So number 1, according to the worldwide box office, like I just said, was Bad Boys for Life. Number 2 was Sonic. Number 3 was Doolittle, and number 4 was Birds of Prey. Number 5 was The Invisible Man. I'll stop with those. But in the domestic, let's see, domestic number 1 is still Bad Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is still Sonic. Number 3 is Birds of Prey.
Okay.
And then number 4 is Doolittle.
That makes more sense. Switched. Doolittle does seem like something that would perform internationally very well. You can dub over any of those animals with any local stars you may enjoy.
Yeah. Huh. Wild stuff, man. So we'll see. I mean, as we've said multiple times here on the podcast, we're gonna have to figure out what our first movie is to go back and see. Like, I want to so bad. Like, that is one of the things that I want to do, because there is such an event around them of just like, it's fun to go to the movies.
It always is. Every time. I try to never take it for granted, and I really have my sights set on No Time to Die.
Right? Yep. So we shall see about all of that stuff. Have you watched anything new this week while you're at home?
No.
That was a hard no.
Well, it's it's the same as usual, Kyle. I watch
I just find it fun to ask.
If I am watching anything different, I will tell you.
Oh well. I put more work into all the CW superhero shows. I am now right before all the over events, the Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover event. So I'm really looking forward to that. But today, I took the day off of work and I stayed home because a new video game came out that I've been really wanting to play. The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us is kind of often considered like the best video game story. It's one of the best video games made period. But people especially point to it for the story. Yeah. And for the longest time, that was it. They were only making that one, and they were done. And then a couple years ago, they announced that they were making a sequel, and it finally came out today. And I was so excited. I was just like, I need to stay home from work and play this.
Is the barn prom in there?
Yes.
Okay. This is all I know about the thing. Like, 2 years ago, a friend was telling me how excited he was for this game, and he showed me that teaser footage where it's this
they're in this like party looking thing.
Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic story, and it's like a community of all the survivors that are just trying to like get a semblance of normal life again, and they have they live in this little rural community, and they've turned their barn into like a dance floor for the community. So it's like this girl's prom almost. She's dancing with her girlfriend under these barn lights. Yep.
That was one of the trailers for the game. Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm enjoying it right now. If you guys want to hear my full thoughts, I'll be talking about it on our other podcast, Crossplay, where me and Ignacio talk all about video games and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's playing it too. So we're gonna have a lot to talk about. It's good.
Yeah, big week for you guys.
Indeed. Well, let's start diving into some of the games and stuff that we have planned here and
yeah,
stuff like that. Let's start at the top. Did you get a chance to listen to any of the music by the band the Whatnauts?
Yes, I did. And you created this whole thing, and then I just showed up several years later. So like you just created this name for yourselves as a podcast, and then later you found out this was a 1960s 70s soul band.
Kind of, yeah. So when me and Paul were making our podcast, we had recorded I think 1 or 2 episodes before we knew what the name was gonna be. And in fact, the first couple episodes we recorded, we never actually posted. I think I eventually posted them on our Patreon like a long time ago.
I want those.
Yeah, I think you can get them for $1, but I don't remember because now you can get all of our Patreon stuff on our website, but I don't remember if I transferred those ones in particular or if I lost those files. If you're a Patreon supporter, you might have to do some digging and see, but that should be available, I think, to all our $1 patrons on our Patreon, patreon.com/the Whatnauts, I think. But yeah, I eventually came up with the idea of like, let's call us the Whatnauts. Because when coming up with the idea for our podcast, I was like, we could talk about video games, we could talk about comic books and movies and TV shows and whatnot, and all sorts of stuff, right? So I was fascinated with this idea of whatnot. It means like there's so much more out there that we don't really know, but it's just whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So that was my idea, to just use that word literally, WHATNOT, whatnot. And Paul was the one who was like, what if we spell it differently and we spell it like astronauts or cosmonauts? Because, like you said, we are exploring all of these things out there, these comics and movies and TV that we have seen or we have not seen or stuff like that. We're just exploring what's out there. And I was like, that is brilliant. Let's do it. And then so, of course, we did our like, well, does anyone have the name The Whatnauts Podcast? And we looked it up, and nope, there was not. But we did find The Whatnauts, the band. So we were like, well, you know what? They're a different medium. They do all sorts of different stuff. We're not really an official business. We're probably never going to be. But let's just go with it. Let's be The Whatnauts. Yeah. So here we are. More than 5 years down the road, still trucking. But yeah, so the Whatnauts music. I never actually went to go check them out until recently when we were coming up with stuff we could do for this one here. Yeah. So, what did you think?
It's nice. It's like good, pleasant, like easy listenings. Makes you think of like Muzak and Kenny G and like the soft rock hits they play at your orthodontist office to calm you down while they drill on your teeth. But no, it's just like pleasant, good old soul music, the sort of thing that you've heard stuff like it your entire life. It was like a really good thing to start working to. But then I found that as I got deeper into the playlist, a lot of the songs were in the same tempo. And I'm like, I need something more energetic to amp me up. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, so I really liked their music, but you're right. A lot of it was very similar in like mood and tone and speed and stuff like that. But I didn't realize until basically now. I guess there was one time I checked out a song or two of theirs just to be like, who are these Whatnauts guys? And I think the first one that I listened to, I happened to recognize it, and I was like, I've heard this. Where have I heard this? And apparently it was sampled by Kanye West in some of his early albums. So I was like, that's parents. There you go. Yeah. Which, I guess in a weird way, friend of the show. Kanye West, friend of the show. No, but yeah, so like I was like, oh, that's neat. And yeah, I listened to a little bit more, and yeah, I recognized another song. I was like, oh, Kanye also sampled that one and stuff like that. So while listening to this, I looked up a website about who sampled stuff from the Whatnauts. So here we are. The Whatnauts group members were Billy Herndon, Garnet Jones, and Gerard Pickney for their names. Fun fact, I grew up in a town called Herndon.
Oh.
Weird conspiracy connections, you see?
Full circle. I do want to stop and say, sorry to interrupt you.
You're good.
I loved the album art for these things.
Yeah, man, they're old, like, R&B albums. They're just having fun. Band pictures.
I love their outfits. There's two. Did you notice there's two album covers where they're wearing the same outfits? Like, I think they just took a bunch of photos in a park one day and then made two albums out of it.
I'm looking at that now. Yeah, that's so funny. Yes. All right. So I'm on the website whosampled.com. Okay. And let's see. Their song "Help Is on the Way" from 1981 was sampled
81?
From 81.
Wow, it sounded a little older than that.
Most of their stuff was from the early 70s.
Okay, yeah.
Early to mid 70s, but I think, their late stuff was 80s. Their song "Help Is on the Way" was sampled in a song called "Ring, Ring, Ring" by De La Soul. "I'll Erase Your Pain Away" was sampled by Kanye West on his song "Late." "Message from a Black Man" was sampled by RZA on a song called "You Can't Stop Me Now" featuring Inspector Deck. Nas also sampled that same song on a song, same name, You Can't Stop Us Now, featuring Eban Brown and the Last Poets. And then Metal Fingers sampled it for his beat Sarsaparilla. I believe that is MF Doom's alter ego. The song "Girls" from 1974 was sampled in a song called "Pretty Girls" by Wale featuring Gucci Mane. Let's see, what's another one? "She's Gone to Another," which was one of their songs from 1970, was sampled by Kanye West on his song "Last Call." Another good one here. "Why Can't People Be Colors Too" from 1972 was sampled on "Oh My God" by A Tribe Called Quest featuring Busta Rhymes.
Whoa, what a team up.
Yeah. And then their song "Try Me" from 1971 was sampled on Track 2 by Flying Lotus, as well as Track 25 by Flying Lotus.
Whoa.
I'll just name some of the other names that sampled them. Ooh, I cannot speak again. Evidence sampled them. Ghostface Killah, Guilty Samson, Freddie Gibbs, and Mad-Lib, all that stuff. Good stuff. There's a lot. So if you're if you're a hip hop fan, chances are you've heard one of their songs sampled in some way or another. So
I recommend. It's good, chilled office work music.
Yeah, it's smooth, soulful R&B from the early 70s. One of the things that I really liked about it, or just one of my mental observations is I think if they were recording today, I think I would still absolutely love their stuff. Like if you took their songs but you recorded them today, I think they'd sound incredible. They'd sound amazing. I think some of their early stuff, wherever they recorded it, whoever recorded it, they wasn't the best recordings. And so it's just like the like actual recording of this is not great, but the song is good. It's catchy. It like yeah, I can get down with that. So
yeah, get down with it. We did.
Indeed.
Kyle, would you like to jump ahead and do some Mad-Libs? Would you like to provide me the words? Then we can play your 2 truths and a lie or your secret segment or whatever else you want to do. Then come back to the Mad-Libs when you may have forgotten what words you even gave me in the first place.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, sure.
I think that sounds like the best way to arrange it. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. I have taken 3 recent episode descriptions of Captain's Log episodes because I had already written them. So I'm just going to have you give me some words, Kyle. Can you give me a noun? You have to think faster than this, Kyle.
Oh, come on. I'm
this
thinking
is
of
question
good ones.
1.
Bill Clinton.
Okay. Right. Another noun.
Stapler.
Plural noun.
Cell phones.
That should have been plural too.
Staplers.
Verb ending in ing.
Partying.
Noun.
Albuquerque.
Plural nouns.
White Claws.
Okay. Adjective.
Blue.
Noun.
Ray gun.
2 movies.
Kindergarten Cop. And Up.
And a noun. You know what?
Tissue paper.
I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah, that works. For some of these, I'm trying to decide if I should be more specific, like a type of food, or if it's funnier just have you give me any noun.
Do you want a couple alternatives?
No, we'll call it down on this one. It's on to the next one. A noun.
Cool. Noun. Chapstick.
Okay, some of these I have to fill in multiple places, the same word.
Okay.
Okay. A number.
7.
Verb, past tense verb. Verb ending in ed.
Pooped.
Noun.
Chair.
A noun.
Ice cream.
Okay, I'm gonna need. This is kind of specific. I'm gonna need you to give me a cool word.
A cool, like what type of cool?
Like a cool hip word where, like, if somebody put it on the. Ugh.
Don't necessarily give me an example, but like, are we talking about like hipster kind of cool? Are we talking about like James Dean kind of cool, like film noir, smoking a cigarette at the window type of cool?
1990s Capri Sun skateboards, Ninja Turtles type of cool, hip, extreme word.
Let's do rad.
Exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
Adjective.
Fast.
An adjective and a noun. These don't have to go together, but I accidentally said them together, so that's now how you will think about them.
Special. Does that work for an adjective? And a noun, can. Or tin can.
Okay. An adjective?
Adjective. Pompous.
And a food.
Nachos.
A location?
Earth 616.
Plural noun.
Plural noun. Dogs.
A noun? Oh, an activity. An activity.
Like a coloring book?
Is that your choice?
Sure.
Noun?
Pencils.
A number?
3,000.
Plural noun.
Planets.
Another location?
The basement.
A mediocre film.
Mediocre film. Let's go with The Expendables.
Plural noun.
I guess that's more of a bad film, but still.
It works. It's fine.
It works, yeah. You said a plural noun?
Yeah.
Let's go with Hummers.
And one more plural noun.
Volkswagen Beetles.
Okay. All right, we are done. Check back later, audience, for the results.
Okay.
All right, what do you want to do now?
Let's do 2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
That one. I thought about doing this one last week because I was playing a video game in which some of the characters in that game were playing it, and it gave you like multiple options to say what you wanted to say and stuff like that. So I have some stuff written down. I asked you if we could do 3 rounds of this, if that was good.
Before we start, I would like to make a statement to the people.
Sure.
So I am on the dating app Hinge.
Okay.
And Hinge, like many other dating apps, I suppose, gives you little conversation starters that you can fill out and put on your profile. One of these is 2 truths and a lie.
Amazing.
These fellas don't know how to do it. They're either like really mundane things that give me no meat, nothing that's worth learning about you.
I go to the gym. My name is Brad.
Or it's stuff like, I won the spelling bee in 4th grade. What does that tell me about what kind of boyfriend material you are, sir?
That's a good one for 2 truths and a lie, I would say. But yeah, in terms of like what does this reveal about you as a potential partner? Not much, but it's a good conversation starter.
Another thing I've seen fellas do is they'll write something in there that will be proven by something else on their profile. Like I saw a guy write, I forget what the other 2 were, but one of them was, I'm a karate instructor. And you scroll down the profile and there's a picture of him in a karate gi. And I'm like, well, you just gave it away. Were you not paying any attention to what you were doing?
In his defense, that could be a thing of like, how well are you paying attention to his profile? Might not be that hard to see that picture, but still, just you know, like, did you scroll past that first picture? I'm not on Hinge, so I don't know how it works. But
the text was before, and then you scroll down and see him in a karate gi. It's not like you see the karate man and you're like, oh boy, a karate man. Swipe right on that guy, and he's like, did you scroll down to read the 2 truths and a lie?
Chop right into my heart, if you know what I mean. I
was so disappointed. I could spend an hour talking about just the low level of craftsmanship I'm seeing on these dating profiles.
Please do. Please report back on some of these profiles of just what you think is wrong with them. I would love a segment like that.
And like, it's plenty of guys who like look like they're perfectly fine, but the profile is just sloppy. Like, I see so many guys who will upload the same picture of themselves twice. And I'm like, I'm not dating a man like that. I'm not saying hello to a man like that. You put the same picture of yourself on there twice?
Side note, in regards to dating apps, I haven't been on one in a long time. But
good for you.
Yeah, they're terrible. Their guys are awful at them, and the thing I hated the most is when people only had group pictures.
God.
It was just like, this doesn't help. I don't know which one you are.
Right.
Are you that guy? Are you that guy? Are you a girl? Are you this girl? Who are you? What's going on here?
Are you the dog?
Yeah.
Right. Or like if they lead with group pictures. You can have some on there, but you have to start with a solo, clearly lit, moderate close-up photo of yourself, sir.
Yes, or at least like X out the other people's faces and do some joke like I've killed them, no longer
I have serious
friends
opinions on the best way to block out other people's faces in a group photo, but we can't get into this now.
Okay. Tune in next time on the Captain's Log. No. So back to truths and a lie here. You said yours were going to be weird and mundane things. I'll start them off here, but I have to text my roommate back on something really fast.
Okay. All right.
I am taking care of her dogs this week because she's out on vacation.
How are they? How is Blueberry?
Blueberry's actually on vacation with her. She took Blue, but she left me the boys. It's me and the boys, Maddox and Apollo. So we are hanging out and stuff like that.
Blueberry's the only one whose name I remember, so I forget the other two aren't also like cute bee names or something.
Yeah. It rained a lot, so Maddox didn't want to go out very often.
Maddox, classic Maddox.
He's scared of the rain. Like, he just will not go outside if it's raining.
My roommate has 3 mice, and she spent the night at her grandma's this week.
Are they blind?
No, they appear to see just fine. And I didn't have to do a dang thing for the mice. She's like, they have all the water and food they need. You don't have to just do anything with them for a day and a half.
At that point, I'd be like, so are they paying rent then? How
are these mice earning income?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, 2 truths and a lie. Let me get my notes back up here so I can start things out. I actually kind of themed mine here.
Mine are a little themed
theme
too.
number 1,
scars.
I have 2 scars from accidentally cutting myself with pocket knives. Both of those scars are on the same finger.
Okay.
Those scars are on my left hand. 2 truths and a lie, Melissa.
Okay. You are left-handed. So you would have to be would you be handling the knives in your other hand? I'm trying to Sherlock Holmes this out.
Okay.
I presume you must have scars on your hand because that opens up the rest of these. So yes, you have scars on your hand. I feel like you having 2 scars on the same finger is a little... You would expect me to buy into how preposterous that is. So I'm going to guess that one is the lie.
You think 2 scars on the same finger is the lie?
You have 2, but they're not on the same finger. Yes.
You would be incorrect, Melissa. I do have 2 scars from accidentally cutting myself with pocket knives. And yes, they are both on the same finger. They're on my ring finger on my right hands. You almost had it. Your first thought was like, well, you're left-handed.
No, but
which means
Kyle,
I would have
what I absolutely expected of you was to be a kid, and you're like, I need to learn to be ambidextrous with knives.
You're not far off.
How well
I'm sure
can
I've had that thought
with my opposite hand?
I kind of am. I'm ambidextrous in certain things, actually. Yeah. I learned to play guitar right-handed, or just, the normal way. I play basketball with my right hand, but I throw a football with my left. I write and stuff with my left hand. Yeah, I mean, my left is my dominant hand, and then when I played soccer, I favored my left, but I could use my right foot just as well. So a little bit ambidextrous. So you're not far off with being like, I want to be ambidextrous with knives in both hands.
I'm also going to tape a knife to my skateboard.
Yeah, that'll show them. Extreme.
Okay. Mine are, I can't ride a bike, I can't swim, or I can't write in cursive.
Ooh, interesting. I feel like I've brought up the fact that I don't know how to ride a bike on here before, but I don't remember if we had that in common or not. I want to say you know how to ride a bike, because that's pretty much something everyone knows.
All right.
Except for me. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about a pool or going to the beach, but I feel like you would be a beach lady. Like, I feel like you enjoy a good day at the beach. Melissa, the beach lady.
Beach lady.
With the big old, like, Sunday floppy hat,
yeah,
right?
It's got, like, out of office printed on it.
Yeah. And being an English major or just, like, creative, I don't remember exactly what you majored in, but in that wheelhouse, I feel like you have to know how to write in cursive. But since I haven't heard you say or mention a pool or beach ever that I can think of, I'm going to say I think you don't know how to swim.
So you say that one is true, which is what I said, that I can't swim. Which one is the one that's a lie?
So
I can't ride a bike. I can't swim.
Me. Okay.
I can't write in cursive.
So you said you can swim, not you can't?
I can't. It's can't for all three of these, Kyle. Okay, there's two of these things I legitimately can't do, and one I legitimately can.
Oh, man, I'm all turned around and backwards now. Okay. You can't? Wow, okay. So well, then I'm gonna revise my first thing. Maybe we did have the not being able to ride a bike in common. So you can't ride a bike and you can't swim. I'll go with those. So the lie is that you can write in cursive.
Kyle, you've nailed it. The only skill I have is the skill that is the least useful to anybody. My parents, so they tried to teach me how to ride a bike when I was a little kid, and I didn't like it. I didn't have any patience or discipline as a child, and I said, I don't want to do this. And my parents, having already had a kid who they did this with, and it's years later, and they're tired.
It's like, we'll buy him a tandem bike. You can just be on
Tim's
the back.
Gonna wheel around little me. Whatever the 3-person tandem bike is, just all three of us kids.
What's that? What is that word?
But yeah, so I'm like, I don't want to ride a bike. And they're like, well, okay, then. Like, we already did this childhood milestone with the earlier kid. We don't have to do it again. So I just never learned how to ride a bike. I took swim lessons when I was a kid, but I did not take to them. I just sort of wiggled around a lot. But cursive. Cursive was something that was easy for my parents to teach me how to do. My dad would just sit me down. Here's a newspaper. Copy 3 sentences out of the newspaper, and then you can go play. And I did that enough that I learned cursive, and I still am pretty good at cursive to this day.
I don't think I've used cursive since 3rd grade. Wow. Yeah, that was one of the things that school was like, as an adult, you're always going to need to write in cursive. And math was like, you're always going to need to know how to calculate the sign of this thing and that thing. And you will never have a calculator in your pocket. And then we all got smartphones and stuff. And it was just like,
nobody writes anything.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Round 2.
Okay.
My theme is things I've done to try and impress girls.
Become ambidextrous with knives.
Right? I should have that one on there. Okay, number 1. Spent over $150 on a single meal for her and myself. Wrote numerous poems and made a rap album of these poems for her. Performed some dance choreography on stage at a talent show for her.
Oh my, Kyle, these are all very likely.
Those are the best lies. Put a little bit of truth in them.
Okay, so I know that one time you got a steak dinner and then you almost threw up on her.
Yep.
So that would equate to approximately $75 each. Did you get that fancy of a steak, though, is the question. Because you probably had a steak and 1 beer. I believe this is how the narrative goes.
Okay.
I don't know if that would add up to $75. Or if she was like a real high-end lady that's like, I'll have a lobster and a half, please.
I'll be honest, I don't remember what she had.
You wrote poems and recorded a rap album out of them. The rap album, I believe. The poems, less so, even though poems is like very close to rap. I know like writing isn't the form of art that you do. I know you make beats, but you've never mentioned any lyrics to go along with the beats. Dancing in a talent show. That seems like... It seems very obvious. Not in that I think it's a lie, just like, oh, of course. Girls like dancing. I'm good at dancing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say the poems in the rap album is the one you made up.
0 for 2, Melissa. I did spend over $150 on a single meal, and it was, in fact, the one you were talking about. That shit was expensive. I don't know why it was that expensive, but holy moly, it was a lot. And I saw the bill, and I was not expecting that, and I was like, well, here we go. I guess I really like her if I'm paying that much. I did write numerous poems and made a rap album of those poems for her. However, it was not something that I like presented to her of like, I made this for you. Okay. Here is your gift that I am giving you on your birthday or to confess my love. But I did, in fact, like you mentioned, I did used to make beats. I still really like it. I haven't gotten around to it in a long time, except for making all of the jingles and stuff for the podcast. But that is just like messing around in Garage Band, so it's not all that special. But the album was literally called her album.
Wow.
Because it was for her. Yep.
Wow.
But no, I have not performed dance choreography on stage at a talent show. I did, however, perform one of those songs for a different girl at a talent show
For
at her church.
Different girl.
Yep.
Kyle.
With that one, it was one of those things that like we were flirting back and forth.
Okay.
We kind of had some stuff. She invited me out to this talent show, asked if I wanted to perform, and I was just like, why the fuck not? Maybe I'll get on her good side and stuff, which I already kind of was, but oh boy, never again. Never again. It was so bad. It was bad.
Wow. Okay. So these are all about me in high school.
Okay. High school Melissa.
I never skipped a day of high school. I graduated with a 4.0 GPA, or I participated in mock trial.
I feel like that is a fairly common field trip for some people who are into like civics and economics and government stuff. If you guys have some kind of class like that or an elective or something you can take. So I'm going to say that one is true, that you participated in a mock trial. I'm gonna say the lie is that you skipped, or that you did not skip a single day.
The lie is that I graduated with a 4.0. I graduated high school with a 3.987.
Damn, that's close.
Yep, I never skipped high school.
Close. Well, you got.
I never skipped college either. I never took a day off of classes in college.
So I mentioned that I took the day off of work to play a video game. I almost started off the podcast asking you of like, Melissa, did you ever like take off of work or skip school to just do something that you wanted to go do? That what was that?
I have taken days off of work because I have a certain amount of days that I have to take. They're like, it's built in that you won't be here periodically. And I'm like, well, if it's designed like that, yeah, I'll take an entire day to go see Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But in school, no, I did not.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it for Avengers, but I was like video games is one of those things where it's like, instead of telling them that that's what I'm doing, it's more just like, yeah, I'm gonna take a personal day, or like, I've got the black lung, pops. You know,
it's the exact joke I was gonna make.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I skipped a bunch in high school. I had an AP art class where we didn't have a curriculum. We just had to have so many pieces in our portfolio by the end of the year. Our test was a portfolio submission. We just had to have stuff by then. So we would leave and come back, and my teacher would be like, you can't do that. Don't do that. And we'll just be like, you want a bagel next time? And she's like, stop. Well, yes, I do, but don't get caught, okay? You're not one of mine. You're not my student if you get caught.
God, our high school was full of kids. So newspaper and yearbook, well, every high school has them. But I feel like they were big at my high school. I feel like that was something our high school was known for being particularly good at. And so if you were carrying a camera around with you, everybody presumed, oh, you're doing like newspaper yearbook stuff. So like nobody was really watching you. So like some people would like bring in like a digital camera, and then they'd like leave and go on a quick trip and come back with a soda. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got suspended in high school for doing graffiti. And one of the things that I kind of noticed was very similar to that, of like, if you were out wandering the halls and you looked like you had nowhere to go, security would stop you, the janitors would stop you, be like, hey, do you have a hall pass and stuff? But if it looked like you had somewhere to go, they wouldn't bother you at all. And so that's what I would do. Instead of like walking slowly, like looking for a spot that I could do, I would like get a spot in mind and would just walk straight there. And they were just like, oh, hey. I was like, hey. That was it. Okay.
Round three.
Round 3. This one is themed published. There was a photo and article about me in a local paper. My art was on the cover of a comics-based magazine my college published. I have an IMDb page because I was credited in an episode of an anime.
Kyle, I don't know how you would have gotten into an anime, so I feel like that one is the lie.
Well, you are right. 1 for 3 on that one. You did get that one. Yeah, I was not credited in an episode of an anime, but I do have an IMDb
You played
page.
Inuyasha.
Yeah. No, yeah, so I did some of the music for a documentary on the anime One Piece.
Oh, that's right. I knew you had an IMDb credit for something, but It was not that. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
And they made an IMDb page for me. So technically, I am on IMDb.
Wow.
There you go. But yeah, I have had a photo of myself and an article about me and someone else in a local newspaper. My high school did a like joint art project with our rival high school, where art students from each high school were paired up, and then we had an art gallery, and we made like art pieces and stuff, and we exhibited them. And like the piece that I made with this girl, I believe her name was Tessa. Tessa or Tess, I don't remember her last name. The theme was roots, and we made these humanoid like statues out of like sticks and stuff like that, and then we melted wax on top of them to like make it look like they're melting and stuff like that, and sticking in the ground. And it was a lot of fun. I don't remember why we came up with that or how we came up with that, but there you go. It was like, you know, everyone has roots and all sorts of different things. So, you know, people are like roots themselves. So we made people out of roots and sticks and art.
Sometimes you get wax in your roots.
Right?
The wax represents legacy.
Yeah, tradition.
All right, Kyle, I just realized I did this wrong, and my final one is 1 truth and 2 lies.
Sure, I'm all.
But I can't change it because it all fits a certain pattern. Am I allowed to proceed?
You are allowed to proceed, Melissa.
Okay, Kyle. I had my first kiss at 15. I had my first kiss at 20, or I had my first kiss at 25.
When did Melissa have her first kiss? I'm gonna go. I'm staring at you. So Melissa can't see me right now. So I'm staring at your Skype picture, like being like, Melissa, when did she have her first kiss? Fingers on my chin. I'm gonna say you had your first kiss at 20.
Kyle, I was almost 26 years old. I was a full-grown woman who owned a sedan and had an office job when I first kissed a nice fella.
That's A-okay.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with that. So can we get the juicy details?
Okay.
What was happening?
This explains a lot about me. So is this boy I met on an app, and this was our third date. All our dates had gone great. He could have kissed me on the first date.
Sure.
I was looking forward to it. No, he was a cautious boy. And so we're planning our third
respectful, right?
Yes. So we're planning our third date, and he says, "Hey, there's a park by my apartment and it's like summer. It's like September, nice weather outside."
Sure.
He's like, "There's a park by my apartment that's doing an outdoor screening of a movie. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you want to go watch this?"
Ah, your favorite movie.
And I knew in my head, this is it. This is when you do the kiss. This is when you do the let's touch hands. It happens in an outdoor movie. That's perfect.
Touch hands, if that's what the kids are calling it these days,
So, and this is also when he introduced me to his dog, which I knew was another big milestone.
Yeah.
So we go to his, and like we did other stuff earlier that day. Like we went to a movie. We saw 2 movies this day. We went to Qdoba. It was his first time at Qdoba. It was a day of many things. And we go to his apartment and we pick up his dog, and then we're sitting in the park having a little picnic with his dog, and the movie's starting and the dog's getting too agitated. And he's like, "Let's take the dog home." And so we take the dog back to his apartment. We drive back, set up our picnic blanket, and then just like fall down and like neatly fit into each other's arms. It was really perfect. We sit there cuddled up together watching Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I drive him home and he kisses me just before he gets out of the car. It was really magical. And this is like one of the reasons why Guardians of the Galaxy means so much to me. And then he broke up with me like 6 months later, which was right before Guardians 2 came out in theaters. And I remember being like looking forward to the movie, but being worried that it would just make me sad because now I had this important emotional memory tied to the first Guardians movie. But I went to see it and I loved it. I was so happy sitting there in the theater for 2 hours. And this is why.
Good.
This is why Guardians 2 is my favorite film, because it rescued me from such an emotional pit. It propped me up and it's like, Melissa, everything is okay. The boys will come and go. Raccoons and tree men are forever.
Raccoons and tree men forever. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Melissa, speaking of raccoons and tree men,
what?
My super secret segment.
Uh-huh.
I have 5 trivia questions for you, Melissa.
What?
So get your game face on.
Okay.
We're playing some trivia. I will actually switch the order of my first 2 questions. Not that there's really an order, but speaking of tree men, Vin Diesel played the role of Groot in Guardians in the Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians
movies.
in the Galaxy.
Yeah. Guardian in the Galaxy.
Guardian about the galaxy. Guardian towards the galaxy. I'm gonna do this with every article now.
Yeah. So for the first film, Vin Diesel supposedly said that he recorded the phrase "I am Groot" over how many times? Was it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000? I am Groot.
I'm going to say 2,000. If it's 3,000, that is too perfect for Avengers lore.
That it is, yeah. It's not 3,000. It's not 4,000. And Melissa, it is in fact not 2,000. He said
only
over 1,000. So technically you could be right, maybe. It's over 1,000.
Yeah, that is so many, but I appreciate his dedication to the work. It really shows.
There you go. Let's switch gears to St. Louis.
All right, tell me what you've learned.
The first successful parachute jump from a moving airplane is credited to 2 different people. one of which, Grant Morton, supposedly jumped from a plane over Venice Beach in 1911. The other happened in St. Louis in 1912. The man who jumped was a captain by the name of... Was it Captain Mary? Captain Larry? Captain McFerry? Or Captain Barry?
Oh my God. This is not like a character of our lore like Ted Drew's.
He jumped out of a plane. The first successful parachute dive, Melissa.
No, we don't know him. I know Weatherbird.
Take a guess. What do you think his name was?
Captain Barry.
Ding, 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 ding. You are actually correct.
Heck.
His name was Captain Barry. I just looked up St. Louis facts. Like St. Louis trivia facts.
Well, I learned something too.
There you go.
This isn't one that has made the ranking of facts local people should know.
Well, now you are prepared. You have some important.
Where did he jump?
Louis
did you read that?
lore. I don't know where exactly.
I don't care what his name is. I want to know where he was doing this.
Let's see.
Can I go see that spot? Is it in like Forest Park?
I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that because I'm sure I have the website somewhere in my history. I just have certain things pulled up in my web history on my phone. So I will get back to you on that. Anyways, next question. Holly Short from the book Artemis Fowl is technically an elf. Generically, a fairy and a member of the LEP Recon unit, aka the Leprechaun unit. In giving a physical description and history of Holly, the author mentions that Holly is the great-granddaughter of which mythological being? Is it Zeus, Hermes, Hercules, or Cupid?
It's Cupid.
Indeed, it is Cupid. I
did not remember that so many times.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I want to give you some that are a challenge and some like, I think she'll know this one. But I don't think I knew that or paid enough attention to have that be a detail that stuck with me. That she was a descendant of Cupid.
I remember that.
Which means if we're mixing the lore from the books and the movie, what was her father's name in the movie? Billingsworth? Some shit like that?
Beechwood.
Beechwood. There you go. Beechwood, son of Cupid. Oh, man. Okay. Here's one that's more just like general interesting fact, but it's about candy. In 2009, Butterfinger debuted a new candy bar called Butterfinger Buzz. What kind of candy bar was this? Was it a sour candy bar?
Ugh.
Was it an alcoholic candy bar? Was it an energy candy bar? Or was it a mentholated candy bar?
Mentholated candy sounds haunting. I'm going to say...
Keep in mind, its name is Butterfinger Buzz.
It's an energy bar. For energy
bar? Yes, you would be right. It was an energy bar. I believe it had 80 milligrams of caffeine, which is about the same amount as a single can of Red Bull. But it was discontinued because of low sales.
I would have bought one. What was I doing? What was this, 2009?
2009. We were
I
in
was
high school.
A high school senior. I needed candy and energy.
Right? Okay. Last one. This is a throwback to last week. Harry Chapin famously has a song entitled Taxi, which has a sequel aptly named Sequel.
Yes.
Many artists have also recorded sequels to their songs, including a band called the Royal Guardsmen, who famously recorded the song Snoopy versus the Red Baron. How many sequels did their famous Snoopy song get?
Okay, this is a good question.
Was it 2, 3, 4, or 5? How many sequels did Snoopy get?
This isn't an answer to your question, but you know that there's multiple versions of the Monster Mash?
I did.
Bobby Boris Pickett just kept doing Monster Mash type songs for the rest of his life, and there's one called the Monster Rap, where Dr. Frankenstein is singing to Frankenstein, and he says, "Rap for Daddy."
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I haven't actually listened to them. I
haven't either, but I know he says "Rap for Daddy."
Wouldn't you say that to the Mummy? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Nobody's rapping.
Right, a mummy is wrapped up.
But Frankenstein will rap.
Okay.
You know, like how we read about the rapping.
Anyways.
Rapping, as you know from books.
I only found that out because of this. I looked it up, like, what songs have sequels? And I found a thing that had a list of stuff, like, these guys have sequels to their songs. Eminem has a sequel to his song Stan, if you remember that song.
There's a whole legacy of Stan.
Right?
I'm going to say, I know there is at least one. Are there 2 sequels? Are there 3 is there a trilogy of Snoopy versus the Red Baron?
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna say 2. Yes.
Melissa, there are 4 sequels.
Oh my god, there's 5 of these. There
are 5 of
Daniel
these.
Craig James Bond movies. There's 5 of them.
Yeah. So Snoopy versus the Red Baron was the original one in 1966.
Yes.
The following year, in 1967, they came out with The Return of the Red Baron. Both of those were wild hits, so they went back to the well for a third time with Snoopy's Christmas.
This one I think I do know, yeah.
That was also in 1967. But that one, popularity started to dip a bit. They went back for a 4th time in 1968 for Snoopy for President. And it did not do well. Eventually, the band broke up. And then, in 2006, a few of the band members got back together and made the song Snoopy vs. Osama.
What?
I'm not even kidding. Snoopy versus Osama.
Well, we do forget that the Red Baron was a legitimate villain of World War I and not just a guy on a pizza box.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What did Snoopy do? How did Snoopy prevail? And what is their field of battle for this song?
I have no idea. I didn't listen to it. I was just like, this is the one. This is the one I need to talk about. Goodness. Another one that I found out had a sequel. We've all heard the song Twist or Do the Twist by Chubby Checker. Right?
Yes.
Do the twist. He made a sequel the following year called, I think, like, Do the Twist Again.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's how we got to the time warp again.
That is literally the name. Do the Twist Again.
I would love if this happened in modern times. Hey, are you still teaching me how to Dougie? Soldier Boy. Never stopping. Still cranking after all these years.
Good stuff.
Kyle,
Yes.
what are your finest Captain's Log memories?
Captain's Log memories. Well, the one that immediately jumps out to me, I think, was one of the first times you were on the Captain's Log. I love the story because I still find it ridiculous, and I want updates. Melissa, you found a sex cult, or what I think is a sex cult in some weird, mysterious neighborhood.
For the listener, there's a local community that is it's all built up from scratch in the middle of this field. All these brand new, beautiful, pristine houses. Mm-hmm. It's an entire self-contained little town with its own little post office and restaurant and barber and all of this stuff. It has an obelisk in it, an unmarked obelisk, which is very frightening. And I told you that I had heard a rumor from a cousin of mine who lived in not that area, but like the next town over, that he heard it's full of swingers, which is different than a sex cult. They're swinging. They're just swinging near an obelisk. I don't think that makes a cult.
You never know, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, I think that's one of my favorite moments. I think even last week of just which songs would get a sequel, the thong song. Well, then it's just raw butt with nothing on it.
That's the next progression. A thong is already so little. The sequel to thong is nothing.
The microkini song. No, but yeah, I think that was one of the times I've laughed the hardest on this show. Even just thinking about it is so dumb.
The time I have laughed the hardest on this show is it was last time you went to Target and I think you bought bed sheets. I don't know. You bought some housewares item and I asked you what color it was and you said purple. And I was surprised. And you said, oh, yeah, I love purple. I don't really have any purple clothes, so you don't see me wearing it. But yeah, I think purple's really cool. It's the color of royalty. It's a mix of red and blue. And you just said it
busted out
so
laughing.
Flat out factual. This needed to be said. This was a normal conversational thing for adults to say. Purple, mix of red and blue.
Yeah, that's another great one. That is also, I think, one of the moments that I've laughed the hardest on this show.
I think this might be the same episode where I talk about the obelisk swing town, where you tell that ghost story from your camp about the mysterious light.
It might be the same one, yeah. But I told my ghost story, my supernatural story, because I don't know what the hell that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's such a... Guys, go back and listen to this episode. It's from fall 2018, and I think you called the episode Melissa Found a Sex Cult, and the thumbnail is a pineapple. Because I told you my cousin told me that this community supposedly uses pineapple iconography in their porch and outdoor decorations to indicate to other couples that you can swing with them.
That's so
I don't
funny.
know. Again, unproven facts. I only have the word of a cousin. I will say it's an adult cousin though. He's 45.
Sure.
That makes him sound more trustworthy. He's not another, wild 29-year-old like me. One of my favorite stories is when your parents... I don't know what episode this is. Maybe I should have looked it up. But it's when your parents took you to see the Harlem Globetrotters and you got a cotton candy. And then
one of the cotton candy.
And then one of the Globetrotter antics was to steal one of the cotton candy trees that a concessions worker was walking around with.
What's the artist? It's not an easel, but the paint thing that they hold where it has all the
palette.
It's
palette.
It's like that.
Cotton candy.
They stole a whole fucking palette and was just walking around giving it out, and here I am with cotton candy, and they're like, hey, have another. And I was like, hell yeah.
and your parents, like a Globetrotter gave it to you, so your parents couldn't say no. So you're just sitting there with a cotton candy in each hand. This is the purest, most joyful image that I can think of.
It's great.
I also love you telling the story about the car you bought and never drove.
Mm-hmm.
And the story of you getting high for the first time last Thanksgiving. I turned to a coworker like right after I'd listened to that episode, because I listened back to it again to make sure it was as good as I remembered. And I'm like, Kate, you gotta hear this. I'm like, I don't mean to like plug my podcast to you, but look for this episode, go to this timestamp, play this. And she sat a couple desks away from me, and I keep glancing over, and she's got her head buried in her arms on her desk, just cracking up, and she's looking over at me cackling. It's a good story.
It's great. I loved it. That was actually technically not the first time that I got high. I told you about this one too, I believe, but my roommates made cookies one time. Yes! I slept through it. They made weed cookies, and I didn't know, and I had one that night because it was like 2 a.m. and they had passed out, and I was like, ooh, cookies. If I have one now, they'll never notice. And I had one and then went to bed and woke up, and they were like, Kyle, don't eat those cookies. They're weed cookies. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were just like, oh no, Kyle, you had one, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I had one last night, but I slept through it, so I didn't feel anything. Wild. Good times.
Those are some of my faves.
Yeah. I think you also had a great idea that we are going to be bringing back again for Halloween. It'll be a Halloween tradition here on the podcast. Is that every Halloween we like to take the episode titles. I shouldn't say every, because we've only done it once, but we're hoping to make it a new tradition here. That every Halloween we take the episode titles of this year's worth of Captain's Log episodes and turn them into horror movies, and we have to come up with the plot, or just like how do we...
We took our stories, like our various anecdotes from throughout the year. Like, so I think I retold the story of Joshua Castle, but it's like, what if this is a horror movie? So like later this year we'll be telling the story of 100-piece chicken meal, but what if it's a horror movie?
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Or raw butt, nothing on it, but a horror movie. Indeed. Yeah, I like that idea. That was
it was fun.
Good one. You've come up with a lot of good ideas for
I do like
all
the
of
episodes.
our shows.
I do like the episodes where we just dive into a general conversation topic, like Backyard Quicksand from some weeks ago, where we would just both talk about what we want in our dream houses.
Yeah.
That was good. Or like I think it's called the soundtrack to Sam's Club, where we just talk about what music do you like. This is a form of pop culture we don't really cover on the show. We just talked about artists we like for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That stuff's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to get more into that. I know for the past couple weeks I've been mentioning like we wanted to have an annual trivia night, which actually, you know what? Here, right now, on the show, I declare the 3rd week in June our annual trivia night.
Okay, so next year.
Yeah, next year we'll do it. Here's what we'll do. So
okay.
Technically, every 3rd week in June is when we'll do it, but you and I should do it next week. Just for this, since I only had the trivia stuff this time.
Okay.
Let's do more trivia next week.
All right.
Do you want to say 10 questions each?
Okay. Yeah.
Like we did for the Patreon exclusive one, because that was where we got the idea, but we've never implemented it or been like, this is the official day. But since I'm, or do we want to just say it'll be the last week in June? Because the last week would work. Because then, I mean, we would just do it next week anyways, and that would be the last week in June.
Sure. Yeah, like 10 multiple choice questions.
Yeah. Does that work? Do you think you'll have enough time, or would you like some more time to prepare? Because we could also make it the first week in July.
I can do it, but I might just look up cool facts, Kyle. I don't know if I'll, because last time I did it, I really tried to tailor them to you. So I'm just Googling, like, I don't know, cyberpunk things.
If you want to do that, you can. If you do want to make them more general, you can. Just, it will be our trivia night.
Okay.
So last week in June will be our yearly trivia night.
All right.
It's now law. It has been brought into law.
Going back to mock trial from earlier. So I did mock trial in my high school AP government class. I still have my gavel. It's in a box in my closet with all my other high school memorabilia, which we could also do an episode on if you feel like it. I should have brought that out. It might have been an audio nightmare. I don't know. But just keep in mind for the future, I own a gavel. Do
you have the, like, coaster it comes with that they hit? I don't know what to call it.
I think I don't know if I have that anymore. I think I only kept the gavel.
You can buy new coasters. It's fine.
Yeah. You just use a coaster.
Yeah, we could do stuff like that. So I've wanted to do our annual trivia night. I want to do episodes where we like rank stuff, whether it be snacks or like let's rank the Disney princesses, or I don't know. Let's rank a group of actors all by the name of Chris.
I've been wanting to do a discussion on, so we're doing these Patreon bonus episodes about movie trailers, just like the art of the trailer by itself. I'd love to do a ranking or just like a list of what are your top 5 end credits sequences.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do stuff like this, like little games and rankings and things. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah. I think our Patreon excuse me, I have the hiccups now that I'm drinking all this alcohol. I think since we've been doing all the games and stuff, like we have been on our Patreon exclusive episodes of the Captain's Log, it would be fun to here and there kind of incorporate some of that stuff of like, let's play MASH again, like we did for that one, or something.
Was fun.
Or just like rank stuff, or what are your top 5 this thing or that thing, or
something I thought about us doing for this episode, but I thought of it too late for us to prepare, would be for us to get like a third person on to play the newlywed game with us, but instead it's like the we've been doing a bunch of podcasts together game, the long-term co-hosts game.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. I'm down for all of that. Yeah, I'm excited for the future of the show. I am looking forward to all sorts of stuff. I would like to get eventually more people on the show.
Yeah,
maybe you and I can talk about getting guests on the show too. Every now and then. It's guest has been something I've been very hesitant about, especially on a video podcast.
Yeah.
Because I've had some horror stories in the past, but I would be fine with that. Like, I want to start branching out in that way, especially now that for the most part we have a computer that works. I don't know what happened to our live stream today, but yeah, I would like to do stuff like that and just have more people on the show. We've mentioned it on crossplay, but I haven't tweeted it out yet. At first, I had kept forgetting to, and then all the Black Lives Matter protests happened and all of that stuff. So I was like, now it's not really the time. But we are looking for more hosts or more people to join the Whatnauts.
Yeah.
We kind of always have been, but we don't say it very often.
There's an open door policy. I mean, just like kind of a loose standing invitation. Like, do you want to try this? Email us and you could try it.
Yeah, I'm more willing now, especially that I have a computer that works for the most part. But I am looking potentially for people that are willing to commit and actually have this be a thing that they do, are willing to be on camera, stick with this week in and week out and stuff like that, and would be willing to chip in some way with like off the air of like, hey, are you good at social media? Do you know how to run a community on that stuff? We need help with that stuff. So we'll be on the lookout. I'm sure I will finally tweet about it down the road and stuff. But I think, Melissa, I think you have been an amazing addition to the Whatnauts.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, thank you, because I was completely at a loss of just like, oh God, what do I do? Paul, step down.
Well, don't worry. There's one lady in Missouri who found you somehow and listened to your show and was like, I could be on this.
Yeah. And it worked out well. And I think you've gotten to a point where you are very comfortable, like being like, what if we do it this way instead? Or what if we do that? Which is something I've always hoped for just one day she will be like, Kyle, we're doing this wrong. We need to do it this way. We need to do it that way. And you've been like, what if on the review show we cover one thing over the course of multiple months? And I was like, yes, great, let's do it. I just needed someone to tell me that. And then hear of just like, what if we do different games? What if we do all sorts of stuff like that? So what if we come up with a Halloween tradition of making these horror stories? And I was just like, yes, that is the growth that I want the podcast to take on.
Had lots of stuff. Plenty of segments. Lots to come back for. Speaking of coming back for stuff, Kyle, are you ready to read the Mad-Libs and kind of close out the night?
Yes, I am indeed.
Okay.
I did, in fact, forget about these.
No, I still got them. I'm like, you keep going, and we have another segment, Kyle.
I knew that we still had them. It was just like I forgot what I had said.
Okay. All right, Kyle. Episode 91. Earth 616 Quicksand.
Okay.
The big topic this week is what our dream dogs would look like. We discuss coloring book pits, indoor-outdoor pencils, and what we would do with 3,000 planets right next to each other.
Yes.
Kyle recounts some basement boy antics. Melissa has too many feelings about the movie The Expendables. We also talk about the Hummers we've seen that have had major impacts on other Hummers we've seen.
It's that Spider-Man meme of just like, it's you, it's me.
Hummers that have other Hummers they look up to. And we also talk about what cultural Volkswagen Beetles we can trace back.
The love bug. Herbie.
Others. Episode 98. Enter Chapstick Lord.
Yes.
This is the seventh episode of the show Pooped on Kyle's new homemade chair.
Pretty much.
Here, the handcrafted ice cream. We discuss what we've been watching lately, whether or not we'll get HBO Rad, and what fast sports may join the Olympics in the future.
I just got that HBO Rad. You're like, Max, that's a good like 90s
word, like
cool word.
Or tubular. I was trying for something specific. Melissa wants to be a special tin can for a pompous sport. Nacho Lord returns. Chapstick Lord arrives.
Great.
Episode 99, Raw Bill Clinton, nothing on it. We're back to discuss the sci-fi staplers we've been watching and the fake cell phones we've been partying. Melissa reflects on the sad adult man Albuquerque she was provided as a child and asks what White Claws should have sequels. I love this.
Were you given a sad adult man named Albuquerque? That's what I want to know. Melissa, his name is Albuquerque.
He is yours. He's your ward somehow.
He is your responsibility
he lives
now.
in the backyard. Like, go out and feed him a carrot once a day and listen to his sad adult man tales about how he misses his wife and kids.
Great.
I love the concept of a flavor having a sequel. Like, it's White Claw, Mango, Full Throttle.
You know, if we could interview someone over email, we should interview Guy Fieri and ask him what flavors should have sequels.
I want to ask this about everything.
What flavors should have sequels? God, my face hurts again from laughing so much.
Black cherry, the new batch. Raspberry, Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
The Land Before Time, The Land Before Lime 7.
That one's great.
Right. Kyle is a blue man with a bad ray gun. Oh, you're a sci-fi villain now. We talk about the new release. We talk about the new release dates for Kindergarten Cop and Up. Also, tissue paper. Have you ever mixed 2 tissue papers at once? Like a tissue paper cocktail?
It'd be 4-ply.
That's just a normal decorative gift bag.
Yeah.
God, a sequel to a White Claw. I would love if like Butterfinger BBs came back and it's Butterfinger BBs 2.
Oh, no joke. Mountain Dew did that. Mountain Dew came out with Mountain Dew Pitch Black. You remember that? Remember
yes.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black? It was like a grape flavored soda. The year after that, they came out with Mountain Dew Pitch Black 2.
Oh my god!
No joke. It was called Pitch Black 2, and it was
you're gonna
sour.
tell me they had a soda called Code. They had a soda called Code Redder.
But yeah, they had one called Pitch Black 2, and it was a sour grape. I loved it too. It was great.
Try our new burger, Sourdough Jack 2, The Return. It's original Sourdough Jack is still here, but we made another one. Twice the tomatoes. God, what a concept. This was fun.
This was fun. This was good. This is a good show.
This is good show we made.
We made a good show. We make a good show week in and week out.
Every heckin' week, we're here doing something.
Yeah. Goofing off, talking about all sorts of stuff. Well, let's see. I should mention that if you did not know, this entire month we are donating all of our Patreon proceeds to the ACLU.
Yes.
So if you guys want to join us on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/the Whatnauts. And you can support us there. However, if you do not want to support us on Patreon, but you still want to donate, you don't have to, because at the end of the day, this is not about us. We decided to donate all of our Patreon stuff because of all of the Black Lives Matter protests, which are happening here in the United States and are still happening. They're in like day 22-ish of all of that happening. So yeah, we wanted to do some good and donate all our stuff this month. So if we somehow inspire you to donate just from hearing this, it would be fantastic if you guys took a screenshot of your receipt and let us know. That way we could kind of total things up at the end of the month and just be like, man, we raised this much money. Fantastic. That being said, if you did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. I mentioned some of them throughout the show today. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com. And if you would like to support us, like I mentioned, our Patreon is patreon.com/thewhatnauts. We have all sorts of stuff you can get on there, all kinds of perks, including I just blanked on the word, Patreon exclusive. That's the word,
yes,
exclusive.
Yes.
It is the alcohol that is starting to hit me where I'm not thinking of the correct words. We have Patreon exclusive content that you can see, and in the coming 2 weeks here or so, we should have our next Patreon exclusive of the Reactor Core up, in which Melissa and I watched a bunch of movie trailers from the 2000s. We already have one up from the 90s. So the next one is from the 2000s, so that will be a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for that. We would also like to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, who
thank you.
Probably maybe would have been here tonight if our live stream was working.
Says in the Discord, I would have loved to be there.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't. But here's what I'll do. I will get this up ASAP for everyone, so we can just put that out right away, and you all can enjoy it as soon as possible. But yeah, that being said, let's get on out of here. Melissa, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
And you can find me at YoKyleSpringer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with our show, we are at The Whatnauts on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe. I think we are at 74 subscribers on YouTube, pushing ever closer to 100.
Check out the YouTube, guys. There's something on it all the time. We put at least 2 or 3 things on there a week. You get to see our faces. We both wore accidentally matching outfits today. That's matching cute. Red stuff. You could see it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's good stuff. That being said, I think that is about it. We will get on out of here. We will be back next week with episode 101. Yeah, I'm excited to now be in the triple digits.
Ooh.
We will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.
Bye.